That must be nuts. It's 2 in the morning, it's pitch black out, and I'm about to start a 125-kilometer trail running race. Welcome to Ultra-Trail Harricana in the Charlevoix region.
Now in its 4th year, Ultra-Trail Harricana is an event that has grown from about 300 to over 1,000 participants and offers distances from 5 kilometers all the way up to this year's inaugural 125K course, which, as you can see, is a point-to-point course and featured a great amount of elevation gain and lots of amazing trails for us to try out in the region. Also new this year was simultaneous translation so that English speakers could understand everything that the race organizers were saying. However, there wasn't much being said at all on the bus at midnight that was taking us to the start line of the 125K race. By 1:15 a.m. we were assembled waiting for the race briefing to give us all the final details on the course and what to watch out for. Then it was into the starting chute to wait nervously for the start gun at 2 a.m.
And we're off. The race has just gotten underway, 2 o'clock sharp. Next few hours are going to be in the pitch black before we hit the lovely climbs later in the day. So just passing the first checkpoint, 20K in, about to hit the big hills. Should be a good climb. So this climb is ridiculously steep. There's been a whole lot of sections with ropes that we had to use to climb our way up. And that kind of a bit of a flatter part, which lets me do some filming and talk. Here at checkpoint 2, just got off the big pointy mountain. Now we're heading back off onto the road. You can see it's just starting to lighten up here. Got the beautiful mountains all around us. We're heading up and down a number of them now. The good news is there's less than 2 marathons to go. The bad news is there's almost 2 marathons to go, and this is not your typical terrain for a marathon.
Luckily, with the increasing light, you got to see more of your surroundings, which kept your mind off the race in front of you. As well, every kilometer there'd be a placard indicating how many kilometers were left to go in the race. The high numbers weren't fun to watch, but it was good to see it counting down. And as you can see, all along the road, the trails were pretty awesome.
Well, these views are what makes it. Still got 79K to go, but this helps me forget some of the pain. In case you're wondering, this is a true wilderness trail. As you can see by the markings, you can barely see the trail in here. Pretty impressive. We're in the deep wilderness of the Charlevoix here, and it is gorgeous views. Absolutely spectacular. The sun is just coming up. It's going to be a warm day, but amazing. Just arriving at checkpoint 3 after a long leg. Time to fuel up.
Luckily, the next leg was mostly downhill, which was a reprieve and a chance to gear up for the next stage ahead.
We're approaching the halfway point. We're just entering the Parc des Hautes Gorges. Well, this was the big stop of the day. About the halfway point, we get access to our drop bags, so we were able to change, get extra food and that sort of thing. Heading out for another 18-kilometer leg. It's going to be a hot afternoon. Of course, with views like this, you kind of want to just stop and enjoy it, but there's a race to do, so we got to keep on keeping on. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
From this point on, our race was actually the exact same course as the 65K event. They had started earlier in the day, and at this point, our pace had definitely slowed down quite a bit. That gave us time to enjoy the scenery, but it also meant that we had to start worrying about whether or not we'd make time cutoffs. The first half of the stage was relatively flat, and maybe even a little bit downhill, and that was about 10K. From then on, however, the trail turned skyward and also became much more gnarly. We were reduced to a pretty slow pace and just grinding it along and hoping that we'd make it through the heat of the day and make it to those next checkpoints with water left in our bladders.
Well, I just did some quick math and it looks like I'm not going to actually make the next cutoff. My foot's been really bothering me and looks like I won't be able to finish this adventure.
Shortly after that realization, things got even tougher as I learned later that a beaver dam had broken, flooded the trail, causing us to encounter mud that was waist deep in some spots. People were known to lose their shoes, glasses, and all sorts of things. All in all, it meant for me, I hobbled in the final few kilometers to the last aid station.
77K into the run, missed the time cutoff, and that's going to be the end of my race.
After catching a ride back to the finish area by a friendly volunteer, I got to watch more racers as they came in and finished the race. All in all, almost 50% of racers didn't actually finish the 125K, which made it even more impressive to watch finishers make it in during the light of day. Waiting for them at the finish line was some food provided by a local caterer, and there's even a Quebec band playing some traditional music for about an hour at the finish area.
Well, that does it for my review of this year's Ultra-Trail Harricana. Although it didn't finish the way I was hoping for, it was still an amazing race. If you're looking for the real deal and a great ultra to try out, I highly recommend this race.